The image of the beast is the state of Isis Ra-El. Most people right now are completely unaware of that fact. Let me read some word to you, show you a couple things, and you'll understand it perfectly if you turn your ears on and open your eyes. This article here says mysterious inscription on ancient Dacia Sphinx is deciphered. The mystery of the inscription on the bronze Sphinx statue discovered in the early 19th century was solved 200 years later. The bronze Sphinx statue, dating to the 3rd century, was discovered in Dacia, a Roman province corresponding to modern-day Romania. However, after being discovered in the 19th century, the statue was stolen from a European count sometime around 1848. While the Sphinx was never found, a detailed drawing of it survived. And that was that drawing you just seen. Dacia is the ancient name for Romania and has seen the rule of various groups and empires throughout history. During ancient times, Dacia was part of the Dacian kingdom and later became a province of the Roman Empire after its conquest by Roman Emperor Trajan in AD 106. However, in the 3rd century, invasions by the Goths and other tribes weakened Roman control, and around 270 AD, the Romans withdrew from Dacia. Subsequently, Dacia came under the rule of various tribes and empires. The inscription on the Sphinx has finally been deciphered, revealing a short but unusual poem. According to a study published December 30th in the journal Mediterranean Archaeology and Archaeometry, it was determined that the inscription around the base of a bronze Sphinx statue was written using the archaic Greek alphabet. However, the Greek alphabet phonetic values render a text that is nonsensical in the Greek language. Therefore, the meaning of the inscription has puzzled scholars since the artifact's discovery in the early 19th century. Researchers were unsuccessful, possibly because it reads from left to right, which is an unusual departure from ancient norms. The scribe was most likely attempting to express something in a language other than Greek by employing an archaic Greek alphabet. The phonetic values of the archaic Greek alphabet record a short rhythmic poem in Proto-Hungarian. Translated into English, it reads, "Lo, behold, worship. Here is the lion," which can be perceived as a command to venerate the Sphinx. Now, I need you to understand that this article just came out, I think today. I need you to understand that these words, these symbols, are huge. In understanding these words and these symbols, understanding what they represent, what they're saying to you, is huge in understanding who the image of the beast is and understanding what is about to go down. And when I say about to go down, I ain't BSing you. That's the reason you're reading this article today, because it's a sign. Telltale sign letting you know that it's about to go down. The characters may seem mysterious at first, but once the mirroring is noticed, the characters become easily recognizable as Greek alphabet letters. A few of them being in a more archaic form. Peter Revesz the study author and professional at the University of Nebraska, told McClatchy News. So, once the mirroring is noticed, and this is an ancient Greek alphabet, and remember, you got the Alpha and Omega versus the Aleph and the Ta. In Jeremiah, we've read it so many times where he says, he talks about the Greek, the son, the son of the Greek or whatever. I don't know, we'll have to go back and read it again. But this is between the Greeks and the true sons of the Most High, the inhabitants of Zion. That's what this is about, this whole thing, from front to back, from the beginning of since Noah at least, but from the beginning. This has been about Abba's chosen, his family, whoever decides to come and be a part of the family. But let's go to Daniel real quick and read about the lion with the man, with the face of a man and the wings of an eagle, just like that statue. Let's look at it. We'll get the verse of the day a little later. Oh, right there. I think it's verse 9 maybe, or verse 10. Let me see. No, I was way off. Maybe it wasn't. The eagle's wings. I was looking until its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted up from the earth and made to stand on 2 feet like a man, and it was given a man's heart. So let's get the context, because this is only verse 4. In the first year of sovereign of Babel, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head on his bed. Then he wrote down the dream, giving a summary of the matters. And pay attention to all words, like I always say. Keep in mind, his vision was he had a vision, a dream and vision of his head on his bed. And he's talking about Daniel, of himself. And giving a summary of the matters. Daniel spoke and said, I was looking in my vision by night and saw the 4 winds of the heavens stirring up the great sea. And the great sea in all old maps is any ancient, even maps like from the 1800s. And prior to that, the Pacific was named the Great Sea. Look it up. Just a note you want to keep on that one. But the sea is the people. Metaphorically speak, like when he's talking parables, the sea is often the people, is what he's talking about. So he stirred up the 4 winds of the heavens, stirring up the great sea. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, different from one another. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I was looking until its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted up from the earth and made to stand on 2 feet like a man, and it was given a man's heart. And see, another beast, a second like a bear, and it was raised up on one side and had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. And they said this to it, arise, devour much flesh. And one thing I want to remind you about the bear. Remember the other day I was led to, on that movie at the end, the man had the sign in his hand and he said, don't forget about Mount Carmel. And I went and looked at Mount Carmel, if you recall. And it talks about, on verse 24, chapter, it's either 24:42 or 42:24, the other way, either way. Of 2 Kings. 2 Kings chapter 24 verse 42, or it's chapter 42 verse 24. One way or the other, I can't remember. But the 2 bears came out and killed the 42 youths. Or no, that's what it was. It was chapter 7, excuse me. It was 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 24. And in verse 24, it says that Elijah was going up on the mountain. The Most High called him. It was like his rapture. He called him up to the top of the mountain. And as he was going up, the little kids, the youths, come out and made fun of him and said, "Go up, bald head, go up, bald head." Repeated it twice. And don't ever get to thinking that every word isn't all necessary, and that wasn't written for a specific reason. And it's all part of this treasure map, this code that you need to understand if you want to live and survive what's coming. The bear, it says the two mother bears, and I was just talking about that the night before. And Russia and like China and them are Russia's known as the bear, and that wouldn't, if it was just that, I wouldn't even mention those guys. But there's a lot of other scripture that we've read here that I've seen that points to that. That's what it means when it's talking about the bear, like the opponent to the image of the beast and everything, those who take the image of the beast out. So not necessarily just those guys with the R, but like the BRICS nations, all that kind of thing, So I'm pretty sure that's what this is talking about. That's why it says it has 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. And its teeth is symbolic for speaking. When it says in between its teeth, it's meaning it's told them something. The bear has told those ribs, whatever those ribs represent, it has a hold of them by something it said. That's what that means. And they say to the bear, those 3 different entities, arise, devour much flesh. So you can kind of see how that would, it's looking like that would fit. Like if what happens, if what we all think is going to happen happens, then that would be the bear. After this, I looked and saw another like a leopard, which had on its back 4 wings of a bird. The beast also had 4 heads, and rule was given to it. After this, I looked in the night visions and saw a 4th beast, fearsome and burly, exceedingly strong. And it had great iron teeth. And see, a lot of people that read the word, they don't have a clue what these words mean. They would just read past where it says iron teeth, but this is how we have to snap out of it and wake up to the fact that the Bible is mostly written in parables and riddles. The Most High tells us that. So pay attention that the next beast or whatever, the 4th beast, it had great iron teeth. It devoured and crushed and trampled down the rest with its feet, and it was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. And it was different. We've read so many times where it talks about, when it's talking about this kind of stuff, it says the last one was different than all the rest. And there's only one that's like that, and that's the image of the beast that I just told you. And notice they always have a lot of iron in there, the word iron related to the things they do and say militarily. Yeah. The eyes of a man were in this horn, and a mouth speaking great words. Now notice what it goes to next. I was looking until thrones were set up, and the Ancient of Days was seated. So that's the last little horn. It uproots the 3 sovereigns from before. And that's what those horns represent. The 3 things that rule people, that they, the main thing, like Christianity or Islam, those kind of things, or but in verse 9, right after that little horn raises up, it says that he was looking and until thrones were set up, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like clean wool. His throne was flames of fire, its wheels burning fire. His throne had, just like I was saying, what we learned when we read and we broke down Ezekiel, and it talked about the wheel spinning within the wheels. That was all referencing the throne. And it showed the man's hand. He saw Ezekiel saw the vision of the man's hand trying to catch the hot coals coming from the throne. The hot coals, again, are the hot coals from the throne. When it says that the seraphim or whatever take them by tongs and they touch the lips of Jeremiah or whoever and Ezekiel, that's all alluding to causing them to speak the truth about the throne. And if you want to come, and if you don't believe that, I'll gladly show you. We've went through it so many times. Anyone that's been here knows what I'm talking about. Anyone that's been here for a while and listened to any of my videos. And this video will probably be on All Honor, because I don't know, I got another strike. I got a strike on All Honor, but they're still letting me upload there for some reason. But on All Esteem, I can't upload, and I don't know how long that'll be. So for now, I'll only be uploading on All Honor. And this truth, I'm serious. If you stick around here for a few more minutes, you're going to see how this truth, that these words are what this word is telling us for real, not at face value, but what it's really trying to tell us. We all need to hear it and understand it right now. And because it's the only way out of what's coming. A stream of fire was flowing and coming forth from his presence, and 1,000,000 served him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judge was seated, and the books were opened. Now, that last, like it says that 1,000,000 served him, so however many that would be, 1,000 times 1,000, what's that? I don't know. And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, and then he says the judge was seated. So that could be the number of those who don't make it. I don't know. Could be. I was looking then, because of the sound of great words which the horn was speaking, I was looking until the beast was killed and its body destroyed and given to the burning fire. That's the image of the beast. And the rest of the beast had their rule taken away. See, their rule taken away. Who has the rule right now? You tell me. It's the beast. And there's all different, aspects of it. But it's primarily those guys. And you can see by the torture of the whore of Babylon and the beast, the image of the beast, there's people that's stepping back for fear of her torture, sovereigns and whatever. They're stepping away because they see what she's doing. They're committing political, you know what, I told you in the last video. So the only ones who are still supporting her, those are the ones who they're involved. That's the same entity pretty much. They just have different names for this group, but it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. But what they've used to dominate the world is Isis Ra-El. I mean, we could go on, and that's the only thing that people that they have, or that's what they have that people give their spiritual devotion to, their faith. They put their faith and their trust in their life and their everlasting life. They believe lies because of that place and what's associated with it. So that's the image of the beast. You have to come all the way out. The only way you're going to live is you have to come all the way out. And the rest of the beast had their rule taken away, but a lengthening of life was given to them for a season and a time. So I'm thinking that's like a year and a half or 3 years or something. I don't know. I was looking in the night visions, and saw one like the son of Enosh coming with the clouds of the heavens, and he came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And to him was given rulership and preciousness and a reign, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His rule is an everlasting rule which will not pass away, and his reign that which shall not be destroyed. As for me, Daniel, my spirit was pierced within my body, and the visions of my head alarmed me. So look, you can see what that lion's representing. We just read it. The reason they dug that up, and you've seen what it says, lo, because look, the lion represents the roaring of the Most High's voice from his throne. It's like him whistling from his throne, telling you to come back home. Prove me wrong, you can't. And then there's other times when it's talking about you hearing the roaring of a lion. It can be saying that the imposter spoke with the voice of as a lion, like it was pretending to be like a lion roaring, and it lured people in and destroyed them all through. Like the anytime you're reading about the whore of Babylon, or like in Proverbs, we were reading the other day about the promiscuous woman, that, all that you can read. You'll be reading in there, and you'll come across verses where the Most High is saying that exact same thing about the lion's voice. So go through and look. So that's why it has the face of a man. That's why it said that it had its heart taken from it, its wings plucked out. It's going down. That's what's happening. It's going down. So you see that in Daniel, and you see what's gonna happen as it's getting its wings plucked out, and that's what you're witnessing on TV. If haven't been under a rock, and you've been watching the news, you've been seeing it go down. The world is waking up to what's going on, and they're doing the worst thing imaginable with the pedal to the metal, non-stop. And, I was going to go to the verse of the day. Non-stop. So, that's what you're witnessing, what we just read in Daniel 7 happen in real time. And if you don't come out of her, you're going to partake in her plagues. That's all there is to it. And the only way to come out, like I said, is you have to want a home with your Father and his people. That's what it was talking about. The thrones were set up. You have to come here and establish your throne. However that looks after that, like if you got to stay and live forever, I don't know. But during the Passover, when all this goes down, that's where you have to be to live. And after that, I'm not the boss. I don't call any shots. I'm just here, a messenger, bringing the good news to you, and I'm trying to do my best to bring it. Anything after that is above my pay grade. But I can tell you this for sure, we've read enough, and we'll continue. Watch and see what we read right here. You're going to see that what you have to do is you have to report home on the Passover. And like I said, it's only going to get clearer and clearer as we read here. So the verse of the day was Psalms 143 verse 10. Teach me to do your good pleasure, for you are my mighty Most High. Let your good spirit lead me in the land of straightness. There you go. Boom. That's the verse of the day. Let's see what the context is with it. Hear my prayer, O Yahuwah. Give ear to my pleadings in your trustworthiness. Answer me in your righteousness, and do not enter into right ruling with your servant. For before you no one living is in the right. No one living is in the right. For the enemy has pursued my being. So think about what he just said. Do not enter into right ruling with your servant. For before you, there ain't no one living in the right. So what he's saying is, please don't judge me on account of what I've done. Because besides you, Abba Yahuwah, there is no one that's living that is in the right. So don't judge us by what we've done. That's what he's saying. For the enemy has pursued my being. He has crushed my life to the ground. He has made me dwell in dark places like the dead of old. Do you see? That should be all the information you need. I mean, I should be able to drop the mic right now, just on what we've read so far, topped off with verse 3. For the enemy, how? Because look, he was asking the Most High. He said, please don't judge me by what I've done. We've all sinned except for you. And he said, because the enemy has pursued my being, he has crushed my life to the ground, he has made me dwell in dark places like the dead of old. There's a reason the Most High says the land of the living, and you hear him talk about the valley of the dry bones. The only way you're living is if you come to your set apart land, the city, and you partake in the feast the way he told you to, and be part of the family. You can't just write letters to the family and say some stuff about them online. You have to actually be part of the family. And then you're in the land of the living. You're part of the living. Therefore, my spirit grew faint within me. My heart within me is stunned. I remembered the days of old. I meditated on all your works. What he's talking about is Abraham, what him and Sarah did. Moses, what him and Aaron did. And Joshua and Caleb and Joseph and everybody, what they all did. They all came home. They all knew where home was, and that was the goal, the mission. It's been the mission throughout the whole Bible. We just haven't seen it before because we were blinded, but that veil was pulled down over our eyes. But now, since the 23rd, basically, of September, the veil has been removed on who the image of the beast is. We know for sure. I've read more. Go back through my videos. Go to All Esteem. Watch the last 20 videos for sure, or more. Back to like September. You'll see. I remember the days of old. I meditated on all your works. I ponder on the work of your hands. I have spread out my hands to you. My being is like a thirsty land for you, Salah. Hasten, answer me, O Yahuwah, my spirit falls. Do not hide your face from me, lest I be like those going down into the pit of the deep, to being dead. And that's the land of the dead. And he talks about that. That's where I've showed you so much. I ain't going to go back into the scorpion, the locust with the scorpion and their tails. You can find that in my videos. That's what that's talking about. When you get stung by a scorpion, your vision goes blurry. You can't hardly see. You go blind or whatever. That's what that's talking about. Let me hear your loving commitment in the morning, for in you I have put my trust. Let me know the way in which I should walk, for I have lifted up my being to you. Deliver me from my enemies, O Yahuwah, I take refuge in you. Teach me to do your good pleasure, for you are my mighty Most High. Let your good spirit lead me in the land of straightness. For the sake of your name, O Yahuwah, revive me in your righteousness. Bring my being out of distress. There you go. Every time it's talking about what happens, what the distress is, it's the same thing with what happens when the locust with the scorpion tails stung the people. It's the same thing. It's darkness. It's living in the land of darkness. You can't see where you are. You don't know who you are. You've been taken from your home, from your throne. You've been lied to about where it is, and now it's to a point where the whole world's got so drunk from the wine of the wrath of her whoring that they don't even think about it anyway. They don't really think about going home or having a home like that. They don't know what they think. But I'm here to tell you this word from front to back, side to side. It will tell you that if you want to live, you want to be a part of whoever it is, the 144, anyone who lives forever. If you want to be a part of them, you have to want to be a part of that home. You have to want to know where it is, who it is, what its name is. You want to live there. You want to partake in those days, those appointments, those appointed times when you meet with the Most High. You live. He dwells in your midst. That's what that's talking about. And you can't get it any other way than getting it. You can't get it from sending postcards from Cleveland, Ohio, or Chattanooga, Tennessee, wherever it is that you live. You have to actually show up. And that's what it means to show up at the wedding supper. They came out. The voice the bridegroom came, and a shout was heard at midnight, letting you know that the bridegroom was coming. And the 4 foolish virgins, they never had their lamps trimmed. They weren't looking through they weren't, the lamp is the Torah. It lights your feet. So to keep your lamp trimmed, that meant you kept examining the Torah, the word, the witnesses, to see what was coming. That's where we get our help. That's where our information comes from, not out here in the world. We have to be a lover of the word, reading it, studying, examining it. That's the only way I've been able to come to the truth of some of the words that I've been talking about, is because I've been reading it the way we have to. For the sake of, and in your loving commitment, cut off my enemies and destroy all the adversaries of my life, for I am your servant. Hallelujah. 144. Blessed be Yahuwah my rock, who is teaching my hands for fighting, my fingers for battle. My loving commitment and my stronghold, my tower and my deliverer, my shield, and in whom I take refuge, who is subduing peoples under me. Yahuwah is man. What is man? Yahuwah, what is man that you should know him? Son of man that you should think of him. Man is like a breath, his days like a passing shadow. Incline your heavens, O Yahuwah, and come down. Touch the mountains that they smoke. Send forth lightning and scatter them. Send forth your arrows and confuse them. There you go. The lightning represents, it comes from the throne. It's the whistling. It's just like a lion. When the lion roars, when Abba roars from his throne, that's he's tearing down the bullshit, the lies about the throne, and he's exposing the image of the beast for what it is, and he's telling you where the throne is, and he's telling you to come back home. It's all that. Like, don't put limits on the Most High. He takes out multiple birds, and they're all equally as like dynamite and purposeful and meaningful. He sends forth the lightning and he scatters them. That's what he did. That's how I've heard this message. That's how you're hearing it. And that's how those of us who will come home, that's what that means. He sends forth their arrows and confuses them. Send forth your hand from above. Rescue me and deliver me out of great waters, from the hand of foreigners. From the hand of foreigners. There you go. That's letting you know. Help me to come back home, Abba Yahuwah. Because, I mean, you have to want to be part of his family to be part of his family. I mean, just think of the delusion, the amount of people who are living in delusion around the world who don't consider that. And you have to, or you ain't part of the family. That's just how it is. Whose mouth has spoken falsehood, and whose right hand is a right hand of lies. There you go. That's talking about the man of lawlessness. That's how another way you know we're talking about the image of the beast here. He rescued me from the hand of foreigners, whose mouth has spoken falsehood, and whose right hand is a right hand of lies. The right hand, the mighty right hand, is the Messiah. But the one they're calling the Messiah, the lies about the Messiah, not what the word says about the Messiah. Their version of it is a right hand of lies. And yes, it is. It's Hail Zeus. I've proven that. Exposed it beyond all you would need. O my Most High, a new song I sing to you. On a harp of 10 strings I sing praises to you. And that right there, that's so huge. He didn't just write that just for no reason. He says, on a new song I sing to you. That's that renewed song. The song of Moses and the Lamb. That's coming home. That's what that is. That's what the harp represents. The harp, you play the harp when you're at home. That's what you do. You sing praises. That's what that's representing. Who gives deliverance to sovereigns? Who rescues David, his servant, from the evil sword? There you go. The door, the key of Daud, the key of David. Rescue me and deliver me from the hand of foreigners, whose mouth has spoken falsehood and whose right hand is a right hand of lies. When he says something twice, he's trying to let you know, pay attention. He didn't just say that for no reason. Because our sons are like plants grown up in their youth, our daughters like hewn stones, polished like a palace building. Bingo. Let our storehouses be filled, supplying all kinds. Let our sheep bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our field. Our cattle well laden, no breaking in, no going out, and no crying in our streets. Bingo, right there. You see? 144 verse 14. There'll be no crying in our streets. This is everything you're reading, the whole word, it's telling you right now. It's time for you to come home now and get on your throne now. And whoever don't is out. And whoever does is, that's, the only victory will be in returning and coming home. That's not my words. Don't shoot the messenger. You can, I mean, hey, but that's that's per the word of the mighty most high. His mighty right hand. Yahuwah is his name. He's the Most High, our wonderful creator, our righteousness. Blessed are the people who have it so. Blessed are the people whose mighty Most High is Yahuwah. Yeah. You best give him all honor, all praise, all glory, and all esteem all the time. Now, I read, what did we just read? 2 chapters, 3 chapters, and you seen that that's all it was talking about? Was about the lying of your home, of your throne, the land, and you returning to it is the only way to live. Now look at this other article that came out, was it yesterday? What's today, the 3rd or the 4th? Yeah, today's the 4th. Oops. It came out yesterday. Check it out. Faliro Bay excavations reveal grim past. Public access planned for ancient Desmates Faliro, whatever that is. 78 skeletons. You see it right there? And just keep note of the numbers. And those who've been around, of you who've been around here before, you should know the significance of these numbers. Oops. Beneath the modern vibrancy of Athens, a chilling testament to the past lies hidden. In 2016, during excavations for the Stavros Narachos Foundation Cultural Center, archaeologists unearthed a scene straight from history's dark pages. 78 skeletons bound and executed in mass, known as the Desmatos Faliro. These silent figures whisper tales of a 7th century BC tragedy. Their final resting place, Faliro Bay, witnessed their fate unfold. 3 distinct clusters marked the execution site, each revealing a story. Some lay bound by invisible fetters. Their contorted postures hinting at restraint. Others bore the brutal imprint of iron shackles. This article's letting you know what's going down right now around the world. Most people. This is rubbing it in your face, and it's the truth. It's just more proof, more pudding of what it is you need to do, what the Bible's telling you to do, what I just said. Some lay bound by invisible fetters, their contorted postures hinting at restraint. Others bore the brutal imprints of iron shackles on their wrist, a stark reminder of their captivity. There you go, a stark reminder of their captivity. A third group showed telltale signs of hands tied behind their backs, a chilling echo of their final moments. For over 6 years, a painstaking process of preservation unfolded. For over 6 years. It's been 6 years since 2017. Just when all this stuff started. like we said, right at 2018, the end of 2017, when the first eclipse happened. It'll be 7 years when that next eclipse hits this summer. Yep. And we went and looked at all the dates and all the numbers about that stuff, didn't we? And all the proof, all the pudding we seen. And well, I'll probably go back over it again, but you go back through those videos, you'll find it. The day, the 2,300 days spoken in Daniel. We went and all that stuff. The flying scroll, everything. But if you can't believe that that's who the image of the beast is, I mean, you're never going to go look at it anyway, so there's no use in me going through it. But if you hear what I just said about who the image of the beast is, and you take note and you understand what it means, what's going on in the world, and that the world is being judged right now, and most of the world is failing in one way or the other. And it's not about how good you can be. It's nothing to do with that. Because the only one who hasn't sinned that's what he said, the Most High. The only way to live is you have to pick up your stake. You have to come to Jerusalem on the Passover, just like Messiah did. And even if that means you have to die going there to get there, that's what you have to do. But you probably won't. You can probably get to it on a first class seat right now, ticket. Who knows? You could probably drive here in a nice, comfortable car. I don't know, but that's what you have to do. So this was a stark reminder of their captivity. A third group showed telltale signs of hands. I already read that? Yeah. For over 6 years, a painstaking process of preservation unfolded. From 2016 to 2022, experts battled environmental foes like humidity and salt crystals to safeguard these fragile remnants. Salt crystals. Wink, wink. Now a new chapter awaits. Groundbreaking something underway to ensure public access to this poignant piece of history. A 6.5 million euro protective shell. 6.5. It's the same as 7, 8. It's 56. 7 times 8 is 56. The 56th hexagram is known as the sojourner. It's the one who comes home. He starts to realize who he is, where he is, and where he is isn't his dwelling place, and he comes home. That's the 56 hexagram. Go look it up. It's the same sign as what's on their flag over there. And then the 23rd is known as the departure, and the 24th is the return to the kingdom. That's what it says. Go look it up. Prove me wrong. You can't. It's all in the videos I just told you about. Funded by the Recovery Fund, will soon rise above the remains. This museum-grade structure, carefully designed to blend with the Stavros Natros Foundation Esplanade, will offer visitors a chance to witness and contemplate the Desmus Phalaros. So they're opening up a little like nativity scene, so to speak, of this thing, of these 78 skeletons that were bound in captivity. Some with those invisible fetters. They're going to set up like a display where you can go and look and contemplate what happened to these people, that they died in captivity. More than a mere shelter, the shell's design holds a deeper purpose. There you go. A sparse underground space will cradle the shackled skeletons, allowing visitors to peer into their past to understand the brutal reality they faced. The entire structure will be universally accessible, ensuring everyone can engage with this powerful testament to a long-forgotten chapter of Athenian history. Published at 10:07. Anything you want to look at is pointing to that. Look at this. I've never mentioned this before on here, but the DNA kit, the ancestry kit or whatever, the thing that you take to find out what what race you are, it's 23andMe. Why would they name it 23andMe? And look at the X on the front, on the corner as their logo. The X is 24. It's the 24th letter in the alphabet. 23andMe. It's about finding out who you are. Wink, wink. Wake up. And isn't it funny that this movie, Leave the World Behind, is number one? Because everyone knows. Everyone knows what's coming. They see the cliff, and they understand we're pedal to the metal, but no one is doing anything about it. Well, you've seen in the word what it said. I'm going to leave you with this trailer to this new horror movie called Mickey's Mousetrap. I don't want to gross you out or nothing. It's not too gross, but and it's creepy. It's a horror flick. And it's a horror flick, but pay attention to what it's saying. And when you see the flashlight drop on the black and white checkered floor, notice the words that it says across the screen. And after you watch it, I don't want to scare you, but you need to be alarmed at what's coming. And understand what this word's telling you. And it's all about returning to your throne, to your home on the appointed times. And what's caused you to forget that, there was a punishment before, but the image of the beast has rose up, this beast that's unlike any other beast before, because there was no beast that imitated the set apart people, the set apart land, and did the things they did. They've created all these religions from it, and they've done all these atrocities around the world. And so it's Mickey's Mousetrap, no doubt. Pay attention to how what it is. The title says it all right there. It's a trap, and that's what this image of the beast is. It's trapped so many people, and it doesn't matter if you see how evil that is, and you're someone that understands that's great. But you still, if you want to be part of the family, you have to come home now. You have to find Yerushalayim marvelous in your eyes. You have to lament the humiliation of it and come home and partake in the feast days and actually choose that life. The life that everyone says that they want to have in the end, when they go get raptured or go to heaven or whatever, that life, the only afterlife that those people are talking about is what the Bible says, and the Bible says that you have to come home, literally. And if you do, just like Moses, just like Abraham, all of them, they came home. So do you. You're no different. And those who do will be mighty men and women of the mighty Most High, Yahuwah. And they will find that truth on account of his mighty right hand. And if you want to live, you best hop on and get you some. Watch this video. Like I said, I don't want to creep you out, but check it out. You need to see it, because that's what's going down on that's what's happening to the world right now as we speak, and the clock's ticking. And we know there ain't much time left, because the word tells us that. It tells us that when we see this truth, there won't be much time left. And you just seen, there was one point in the word I was just reading, it said a season and a half of time or whatever. It's not going to be long. Watch this. I'll see you next time. All honor, all praise, all glory, and all esteem to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator, our righteousness. Get on your face. Give him all of that today. Watch this trailer. Think about what it's telling you, what I just read to you. getting your word.
This is the best party that we can throw.
I've seen some rejections in my time, but man, that was a good one.
There's blood all over the jungle gym.
Blood.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like completely in love with Moon Betty. It's totally disgusting.
Put the phone down! Put the phone down, please!
I was like, dude, I'm already stuck.
No, Gina, turn around, please, Gina!
I'll be right back. Man, he's dead.
What?
Like if he was in a horror movie, you'd never say, I'll be right back. Because then you don't. Where the hell did he go?